In this lecture, we'll visit the thread tool. It's nice and simple to use and a great feature when working in Fusion 360. I've modeled up some parts here that I'll be working with. I'll have them as a downloadable resource, so you can download these and use them if you like. Otherwise, feel free to model your own parts and you could work with them. So on the left-hand side, I've currently got a shaft, which we're going to add a thread to, so that become a rod. In the center there, we've got a generic hex head bolt. And then right at the end there, we've got a nut. So we're going to work with 2 external threads and then an internal thread on the nut. Start first of all with the shaft, and let's make this a threaded rod. So the thread tool is located under the creation tools under solid. There's left click there once. As we scroll down, we've got thread there. And again, feel free to add a shortcut if you like. Then we'll select the thread tool. And then our toolbox pops up and we need to identify here a face that we want to apply the thread to. So very simply, left click once, identifying this face. We've then got the option for this to be a modeled thread. So just like the hole tool, we can actually make this a physical thread. We can see right now, this is just a visual thread that's been applied. But when I put modeled, you'll see then that a physical thread forms, which adds many faces and geometries. And this is ideal for 3D printing. So any part with 3D printing that requires a thread, we would always go with the modeled selection on. However, as explained, when we're working with a hole tool, if we have got a lot of threads within our parts and designs, we need to be a bit conscious about having them all modeled because it can be quite demanding on your graphics card and processing unit. I'm going to leave that as model for now, and let's scroll further down. So we've got full length, in this case, a threaded rod. I'm going to leave that as full length. Under the thread type, just like in the hole tool, we've got all the various standards available here. I'm going to go with isometric profile, and the size is currently assigned 12 mil, and that's based off the diameter of what the shaft was. We can change this. For example, if I manually move this arrow like so, it will change the diameter of the rod. And likewise, if I change the size here, so currently it's on 14, I'd bump this up. Let's go 24. We'll see the increase in diameter there. I'm going to drop that back down to, let's go for 12 mil. Designation, sort of thread pitch, leave that 1.75 standard. Fast, and in the direction, so clockwise or counterclockwise thread. Then we can click OK. And we're left with a physical thread there. That's a full length thread. Let's now move on to this hex bolt here. I'm going to do creation tools, go for thread, and I select this face here. Left click once. I'm going to turn modeled on as well for this one. But instead of full length, I want there to be a shank and then followed by a thread. I'll take a full length. I want to offset this. Okay, so I'm going to offset this. So this will be my shank length. Let's go for 25. Yeah, it's suitable. But in terms of length, I'm just going to manually adjust that. I'm going to leave that as a size 12 mil. But again, we can change this. So if we go for 18, you see the whole diameter jumps up in size. I'm going to leave that as 12 mil for now. Leave everything else as the default. Press OK. There we have our hex head bolt with a 25 mil shank, followed by the thread. So those are 2 examples of exterior threads. And then on the nut here, we can apply an interior thread. Again, creation tools, go for thread. The face, we want this cylindrical face here. Left click once. I'm going to put this as modeled as well, ready for 3D printing. Full length, of course. And again, yeah, we can change this. So I drop this down to, let's say 7. The diameter drastically reduces. And I put that up to, let's go for 14 mil. Leave everything else as standard. Right hand thread. Click OK. Now we've got our physical thread. I'll just show you that through the section analysis by section from here. Click OK. And then we can visually see, well, we can see much better here, the actual physical thread form as it weaves around. The same with our bolt with the shank and then with a nut as well. All of those parts are now ready for 3D printing. And that's it for the thread tool. It's a very straightforward tool to use, really useful, and especially when it comes to 3D printing. And so I will see you in the next lecture.